after the COVID-19 pandemic, how does it feel to be touring again?
Oh, it's great, man. You know, I sat on the couch for 2 years, as all musicians and lots of workers, and just for life to sort of get back to normal is just a great thing, you know. And I know COVID's not really gone.
Yeah.
I still run the risk of getting it, and I'm immunosuppressed because of my liver transplant, but I've had my vaccines, and I'm out here, and I'm going to live my life and play my music, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah. During the pandemic, you lived in Denmark. You still live there?
Well, I have a house there. You know, I have what was a vacation home in Denmark. I'm married to a Danish girl. We have 3 kids that all live in Denmark, and they're all Danish citizens. And when the pandemic happened, and we were in Los Angeles, and we're in the middle of 18 million people, it didn't feel very safe. And our house in Denmark is in a small village of 500 people. So it seemed like, okay, we'll be much safer there. And we thought we'd be there for 2 months, and it turned into 2 years. And I've been there ever since, really. Yeah.
How was it like living in Denmark with a...
Well, it's very different. Being in a village of 500 people, it's very different than living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. I had to come up with different things to do in life. And our house is right on the edge of a national park. So my wife and I spent a lot of time walking in nature, getting exercise, and she would cook, and we would hang out, and we took a lot of walks, and I got to really spend a lot of time with her and my kids.
Yeah,
so that was kind of cool, really. I tried to look on the bright side.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you learn any Danish?
A little bit, not a lot.
Have you been to Sweden before?
Oh, many times, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to play here with John Mayall in 1983, 84. So yeah, I've been here 100 times at least.
Your latest album, Ride, was released earlier this year. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's something I did during the pandemic. I went back to Los Angeles and sat in my house alone for 2 weeks and wrote the album, and then recorded it with the band, but they were very closed sessions. There were no visitors. Everybody had to be vaccinated, and we all got tested every couple of days. And it was great to just make music again after sitting around, you know. And so it's getting great reviews, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I listened to it myself, and it sounds great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also read an interview with you with rockandbluesmuse.com that you've written about 300 songs for like 30 albums.
Yeah.
How do you find inspiration, and what keeps you going?
Man, I don't know. I can tell you that every time I think about writing an album, I think to myself, do I have anything left that I want to say? And I go through this kind of, I don't know if I can do this. This is number 30, right? And then it always happens sometimes. I hear the voice of my mother, and she says, Walter, you wanted to be a musician since you were a little boy, and what you do is make music. So just make some music. And suddenly it gets really easy if I think of it like that.
Yeah.
This is what I do, I make music. So then it's time to make some music, and it actually gets pretty easy to write a record. But I have to get in that frame of mind.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what I do, right?
On Spotify, Ghosts and Waiting for the Dawn are the most popular songs when I checked earlier today. Do you have a personal favorite?
It depends on what day you ask me.
Yeah.
I actually like every song on that record, and I can't say that about all my records. And there were a couple songs we recorded that I did not put on there because I didn't think they were up to the level of the other ones. I didn't think they were good enough. And so I've listened to this record quite a bit, and one day I like one song, the next day I like another song. So I like the whole thing, which is kind of unique for me to say that I like the whole thing. You know.
When you're in the car or at home, do you listen to any other musicians?
I don't listen to a lot of the kind of stuff that I do. I don't want to hear blues rock, to be honest, because when I do it, I'm so immersed in it.
Yeah.
I'm so focused on it that I have to get away from it for a while. So when I'm home, believe it or not, I might be listening to Tony Bennett or Ella Fitzgerald or Miles Davis or Joni Mitchell or something like that. But I don't listen much to like what I do. And if I feel like hearing blues, I go back to the guys that inspired me, like B.B. King, Buddy Guy, Blind Willie Johnson, people like that. You know.
Yeah, so you go back a far way and not contemporary music.
Yeah, if I'm going to listen to blues, I still listen to the albums that inspired me when I was a kid, Paul Butterfield, you know, that stuff.
And they were the ones who got you into music, or?
No, I was into music long before I heard the blues. I was into music from the time I was a little kid, you know.